All right, you're looking at an AI-generated UGC ad right now. Nobody filmed this, nobody edited this by hand. I started with a product link and I turned it into multiple realistic UGC style ad variations in just a few minutes. And what's really interesting isn't just the video itself, it's how fast you can make multiple versions to test different hooks and angles. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the workflow, show you the examples I made with CreateUGC, and break down how you can use it to make more realistic product ads with AI faster and without filming. And if you want to follow along with me as I go, I've got the link in the description below so you can check it out while we walk through it. Hey everyone, I'm Jake Dawson and I make videos about AI and automation for people who want simpler ways to get more done. And the reason I wanted to dig into CreateUGC is simple. Most people don't struggle with launching ads. They struggle with making good enough creatives and enough creative volume to actually find a winner. Because user-generated content works, but filming takes time. Hiring creators costs money. And by the time you finally get one ad back, you still don't know if that angle is even the right one. So that's why this really caught my attention, because it's built around solving the creative bottleneck, not by replacing strategy, but by helping you make and test more ads faster. So let's get into it. The first workflow is the simplest one. How do you take a product and turn it into your first usable UGC style ad as fast as possible? So this is where CreateUGC makes the most sense. You start by dropping in the product link, and what I like here is that you're not starting from a blank page. The tool pulls in the product info, the description, and the media, so right away, you're moving faster from product page to first ad concept instead of building everything from scratch. So now you won't be building everything by hand, you'll be shaping what's already there. That part matters because getting started is usually where people slow down. Now, from there, I'd pick the video type based on what style I want. So if I want something more creator style and realistic, I'd go with the product in hand. If I want something simpler and faster to test, I'd go with the reaction style video. Then I'd choose the product assets I want to use. Okay, now let's set the video settings. So there's several languages to choose from here. I would just pick the one that matches my target audience the most and match all the other settings. Then move over to picking an avatar. So I can scroll through the library and I can filter avatars by things like gender and ethnicity to find someone who really connects with my audience. Now, when that's done, let's just let the AI generate the first few rounds of scripts. I mean, look at that. Now I'm not sitting there just staring at a blank screen trying to figure out what to say. I've got a starting point. And this is the first big benefit. It makes getting your first realistic, usable UGC style ad much easier and much faster to launch. Now, look, it doesn't replace every part of the normal creative process. It just makes the first version dramatically easier to create, which is exactly what you want when speed matters. Next, let's keep going. The second workflow is where this starts to become really useful for actual marketing. Because the real question is not, can this make one ad? The real question is, can this help you test more hooks, angles, and creative directions faster without multiplying the production work? And that's where I think CreateUGC is the strongest. So let's do that now. So once I have one product loaded in, I start changing the variables that actually matter. So I can create different hooks, different avatars, I can test different scripts or different formats, and I can test different product positionings, different angles. So instead of just making one ad and hoping that it works, I can create multiple versions built around different messages. So watch this. Take the same product, duplicate it into multiple creatives. Let's change the script, the avatar, the opening hook. So now you've got the same product showing up in different ways. I mean, look at that. You're not starting over every single time. You're making more versions of the same product without multiplying the production work. And this is the second big benefit. It helps you create more testable creatives from one product so you can compare messages, hooks, and avatars much faster. So that's the part I think most people miss. The winning move in 2026 is not just prettier ads, it's about producing ads at scale. So what does that mean for you? That gives you way more data, way faster, and honestly, it's where this starts feeling practical. You're not just making content, you're building options. And for advertisers, brands, dropshippers, agencies, That's where the real value shows up. More options means more chances to find what actually converts. Oh, and here's one more small tip. If you're using custom scripts, add pauses. That really helps the delivery sound more natural. That detail makes a difference. And look, it's not instant magic. You still need to shape the message and see what actually lands, but this makes it much faster to try different ideas without turning every test into a full production job. Now, once you understand that, the third workflow becomes obvious, because the next problem is, how do I keep doing this consistently without turning content production into a full-time job? And this is where I think CreateUGC becomes just really attractive for dropshippers, DTC brands, agencies, marketplace sellers, basically anyone who needs fresh, short-form creatives all the time. Now, let's look at what that means. So take one product, pull in the product info, build a creator-style video, make a few more versions and test them. Now, let's come back and refresh the creative without rebuilding the whole thing from zero. So, look at that. So now you've got a repeatable workflow, and that's a massive difference, because this is not just about making one video. This is about building a system that you can keep using, and that is a big benefit. It gives you a more scalable creative workflow, not just a one-off video tool. That matters a lot, because if your marketing depends on constant creative output, then what you really need is a system. So to me, this feels less like a full video studio and more like a fast testing engine for short-form product ads. And honestly, that's a useful place to be. And if you want to push it further, the extra tools around assets, inspiration, and script-led video creation, it makes it easier to stay inside of one workflow instead of bouncing around between different tools. So you're not starting from scratch every single time. And look, I would not frame this like AI suddenly replaces every human creator. I'd be out of work. I'd frame it like this instead. If you need speed, volume, and more chances to test winning angles, this gets you a lot closer. You still have to test the hooks, the messages, and see what actually converts, but compared to filming every version by hand, this gives you a much faster way to keep creative moving. On the realism side, I do think the product in hand and the VO3 style outputs are a big part of why this feels more usable for native looking TikTok, Reels, and short creatives. So that's where this starts to feel less like a demo and more like something that you could actually use in a real creative testing workflow. And if you're using outside avatars in that kind of flow, stick with original and generic faces. That's the smart move. So if I zoom out, I think CreateUGC is for people who already know that the real problem is creative volume. So if you run a dropshipping store, a DTC brand, an agency, or you sell in online marketplaces, this makes a lot of sense. It fits best when you need short form ads fast. Your product is easy to show and you want more variations without adding filming, editing, or a bigger content team. What it's really good at is speed to testing, helping you go from product idea to multiple ad variations quickly enough to actually test what works. You can start with a product link, generate scripts, swap avatars, and get multiple versions ready much faster than a normal UGC process. So this is less about making one perfect ad and more about giving you enough angles to actually test. And honestly, I think the strongest part is the product in hand side. That seems to really be where the realism gets a lot more usable, especially for native looking short form ads. So if you're trying to make TikToks, Reels, Shorts, or marketplace style creative, that's probably the area that I would pay the most attention to. And look, if you sell something more trust heavy or more personal, real creator content can still be stronger. So CreateUGC looks best as a first pass testing engine. It helps you make more ads, test more ideas, and figure out what deserves more time and budget. All right, before we wrap up, I want to know, are you still testing one ad at a time, or are you actually trying to make enough creatives to find a winner? Drop a comment, I'm curious. Also, if you want to try CreateUGC for yourself, use my partner link in the description below, or make the first comment to get the 7-day free trial, which lets you generate your first UGC style ad in minutes. And if you do try it, come back and tell me what kind of product you tested. I'm genuinely curious which angles you'd use it for. Make sure to hit subscribe and give this video a like, because everything on this channel is about practical, real-world AI that you can actually use, not just flashy demos that look cool but don't actually help you get anything done. All right, go ahead, test CreateUGC, make a few variations, and see how quickly you can turn one product into multiple ad angles. I will see you in the next one, where we're going to take this even further and dive into more AI tools that can save you time and help you get more done. Just click on the video to my left, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I'll see you there.